Friends, let me tell you how I thought of sharing value added with my employees. For doing any business, one needs capital and efforts. Capital for investments and efforts for the conversion process. Capital is arranged by the investors and efforts are provided by the employees. The customer pays us for the value added in the organization. Logically, there are two claimants to this value added. Investors on one side and the employees on the other. When employees and investors work together, an organization is formed. We need to allocate some funds for the organization. This fundamental fact drives one to share the value added within the three entities: investors, employees, and the organization itself for the future growth. Employees are paid salaries. Should we not relate them to the value added that the company earns? Are they not partners in the value adding process? What if we share with them? Will they not feel part of the company? The plain answer is yes. Well, now let me tell you how we went about implementing this value added sharing. First of all, this concept had to be shared with the employees. They were convinced that they are doing an important job of value adding and are being paid by the customers. They are not being paid for filling the time, but for the value adding activities. The activities in any company can be easily bifurcated into value adding and non-value adding activities. Surprisingly, non-value adding activities are more than 90% for which customer does not pay us. This is the waste which needs to be eliminated from the operations. A very strong just-in-time manufacturing practice is available to reduce waste in the organization. There were training sessions throughout the company and everybody got convinced about the process of eliminating waste. They were, however, unaware of what is in it for us. That is the stage at which we committed the value added sharing with them, provided we reached a graduate level of implementation of this jet manufacturing cycle. They had the basic trust in us. The journey began with a bang and the results were achieved in a short period of 2 years. The sharing started from the third year and continues for 10 long years as of date. Well, now let me explain to you the mechanism of sharing value added. Value added is calculated every month on 10th on the basis of the profit and loss account that we generate. Value added is sales minus raw material purchase minus operating expenses minus other overheads. This does not include employee expenses, interest and depreciation. In the other way around, it is profit before tax plus interest plus depreciation plus employee expenses. 50% of the value added is retained in the company as a policy for future growth. 25% of value added is shared with the employees and 25% of value added is allotted to investors, that is shareholders and banks. For our industry, this generally works out to 8% of profit before tax. This value added share is given equal to all employees who are adding value irrespective of the salaries they earn. The time spent on the floor is of course taken into account. The person who spends more time gets more value added. The person who spends less time gets less. The normal benefits of salaries like leave wages, bonus, etc. are separate. The usual benefit of value added is about 35% of the salary over and above 12% of the normal bonus that we pay on their earnings. This entire mechanism has worked so well that individual employee has an attitude of ownership and they give their best to the organization. There are many tangible and intangible benefits of this implementation. Among them, a few significant ones are: A. Total employee involvement. B. Least supervision, the organization is flat. C. Seniors work with the premise of monitor and support instead of monitor and control. D. Cost of manufacturing comes down drastically, thereby competitiveness in the market improves a lot. E. Value added to employee expenses ratio, which is nothing but employee productivity norm or measure, has improved substantially from 2 to 4. Share has therefore been increasing year on year. Profitability improvement has always ensured availability of funds for continuous growth of organization. Most importantly, continuous improvement culture has been established to reduce waste in all operations all the time. And there are many more.